Hi, I'm Zach, and in today's video we'll be looking at 3 different controllers from 8BitDo. These controllers are going to be from their Lite series. They will be the Lite 2, and the Lite SE controller. So let's take a look at these controllers, see if they're worth keeping, or if they're going back in the box. In a previous video, I reviewed the 8BitDo microcontrollers. And while the microcontrollers are very portable, I'm looking for a bigger controller that is more comfortable to actually use and still small enough to carry around. So I'll be reviewing the 8BitDo Lite series of controllers. Starting with the 8BitDo Lite controller. We have a controller that has a very unconventional setup. Instead of analog sticks, we have 2 D-pads. And the actual D-pad on the Lite is designed like the Switch, where there are 4 individual buttons. And the shoulder buttons are all in line on the top of the controller. There is no motion control or vibration on the 8BitDo Lite. There's a mode select button for switch and X input, and it is charged through a USB-C port. The next up is the 8BitDo Lite 2 controller. This controller is a follow-up to the original Lite controller and brings with it 2 analog sticks, a proper D-pad, and stacked trigger and shoulder buttons. The Lite 2 has motion control and vibration. It also charges with USB-C. The mode switch on the Lite 2 is between S for switch mode and D for D input. The third controller is the 8BitDo Lite SE. This is a unique controller and has been designed to help users that might have limited mobility. This is done by making all of the buttons on the controller face buttons. This includes the trigger shoulder buttons, and the joystick presses L3 and R3. It also has motion control and vibration. The mode switch is S for switch mode and D for D input. Also, the controller has a rubber pad on the bottom that helps it sit more securely to a tabletop or other surface without sliding around. The buttons on the Lite SE are the most sensitive buttons I have ever felt on a controller. Again, this is a design choice to help users with limited mobility. It's not going to require a lot of force to actually activate one of these buttons. One other difference from the other 2 controllers is the sync button. On the Lite and Lite 2, the sync button is small and recessed, whereas on the SE, it is a little bit bigger and it sticks out from the body of the controller to make it easier to press. So comparing the buttons between the Lite and Lite 2, they're pretty much the same in feel. The size of the buttons and D-pad on the Lite 2 are the same size as the 8BitDo Micro 2 controller. The size of the Lite controller D-pads are larger than the D-pads on the Lite 2 and feel more comfortable to use as a D-pad. It's important to remember the D-pads are not analog, so it's 0 or 100 for the input. And so here's some gameplay in Borderlands 2 using these joystick D-pads. And while you can move and aim in the game, the 0 to 100 input just doesn't make it very practical. It's too bad that motion control was not included on the Lite, as it might have made it more possible to play first-person games with this controller. Also, we are missing the L3 and R3 buttons on the Lite, as the D-pads can't be center pressed like a joystick. It would have been great to have the L3 and R3 represented as separate buttons like they are on the Lite SE controller. Here is the Lite 2 joystick test. The response and accuracy is not the best I've seen. These small joysticks are never as accurate as full-size sticks, and this includes the original Joycons. And as you can see, we're getting better motion and aiming using analog joysticks, but I have to say that I'm not getting the accuracy and definition in those movements that I was hoping to see using an analog input. It also has motion control and vibration. Now let's take at the SE joystick calibration. And as you can see, we're seeing the same results as we were getting with the Lite 2. And here's some Lite SE gameplay. And as you can see, we're getting about the same kind of motion and accuracy that we were getting with the Lite 2. Again, the joystick designs between the 2, I believe, are identical. So between the Lite 2 and the SE, they definitely don't feel that great. It's playable, but it's not better than what we were getting with the joysticks on the Joycons. If I'm going to be adding other controllers to the Switch, I want a better result than what I was getting with the Joycons. I'm looking for an easy to carry around controller, so the size of the controller is going to be very important. The overall size of each controller is about the same for width and height. The depth of the Lite is the smallest, as the Lite 2 has the joysticks and stacked shoulder buttons. The SE has the joysticks and rubber pad on the bottom that add to its thickness. The build quality of the sticks doesn't give me much confidence. I feel like if I'm going to slide it into my bag or into my pocket and it catches the edge of the joystick, it's going to damage those sticks. The Lite with its D-pads and inline shoulder buttons means that there's nothing sticking out to catch on a pocket or sleeve. So for someone like me with a set of Joy-Cons, the Lite 2 doesn't make much sense to carry over the original Joy-Cons. Using this connector piece that I got from another set of Joy-Con replacements really makes it about the same thickness and size as the Lite 2. Again, the Joy-Cons are going to be a little taller, height-wise, but you're getting a first-party experience using the Joy-Cons. So, which controller or controllers are going back in the box for me? Well, the Lite is a slim and easy to carry around controller. And the Lite 2 is small and has all the features and layout of a normal controller. The SE offers a unique design and has all of the buttons represented on it. Well, for me, I'm looking for a controller that will be used mainly for retro-style gameplay and will slide easily into my bag. So, the SE and the Lite 2 goes back in the box. And for me, the 8BitDo Lite fits the bill. I'm enjoying using the larger D-pads for platformers and retro games. I wish that the Lite had motion controls and buttons for the L3 and R3 to fill out its functionality. But for the games and systems I'll be using it for, it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And for me, the Lite isn't just going to be traveling with the Switch. I'll be able to throw it in with my RGB 30 case, and it fits nicely in the sleeve above the actual device. I really thought that the Lite 2 was going to be the controller that I was going to use. It was small and compact, but looking at the joysticks, between their build quality, accuracy, and movement, I just didn't feel like I'm getting anything more than what I already had in the Joy-Cons. I would say if you don't have a Switch and Joy-Cons, that the Lite 2 might be more the controller that you're looking for as a portable controller to take on the go. So I'd be curious to hear from you in the comments on which of these controllers intrigues you. Do you own or thinking about getting any of these controllers? And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next review.